I am just setting myself to strive to be in a relaxed state. I believe that emotions are involuntary and my feelings are something to assess. I'd like to assess them before I just act upon them. A few interesting things happened on Twitter and on other portions of social media today. And I believe we are in a culture war. And as of now, I have a very insignificant portion of the culture war. Which means I'm almost next to nothing with regards to it. So, for the most part, I'm an observer. I'm kind of like a fan, a sports fan, yelling his guts out. And there is a part of me that thinks that I can do better. I'm armchair quarterbacking in this fight, and I'm seeing people that are in this fight as of now. And I'm looking at how they choose to fight. And there's a part of me that thinks I can do better than those who fight. I think it's a good idea to know your enemy. And know how to deal with your enemy. Some enemies have they have nothing to do with you, or they can be potential enemies. But as of now in this country, we have people who are very sanctimonious, who tell us to get medical treatment, who tell us to wear a mask, who tell us certain people of certain races, they have privilege. I'm going to shut off my my Discord at the moment. I'm just going to quit it because it's making too much noise. So there we go with that. I'm shutting it off. And those few people that agree with me or that listen to this, most people are not as angry, in my circles are not as angry as I am. And I don't know if it is their upbringing, because again, I grew up with a very egocentric parent, and I know egotism when I see it. I know fakeness when I see it. And it probably brings back memories for me that make me want to lash out. And I did lash out as a child and as an adolescent. And there are times when those beasts are still with me. That beast inside that wants to lash out foolishly, that juvenile beast, is still within me. On the intellectual side, I know that it's wrong. But on an emotional side, it is a form of protection. And I have a rage My rage at times is reason, again, because when you show rage and anger, you are defending yourself, and there are people that will be frightened and be away from you when you have rage. But the problem with the anger and with the rage is you cannot build coalitions when one has anger and rage to fight an enemy. And again, on an intellectual side, I know that that is a problem, but it's still something that I have yet to overcome. It is my weakness. I often will go on Discord places, and I go on shows, and there's always an argument with people, even on my side, what motivates people. And I believe, they always say that there's this hidden hand and things like that, and that does anger me. And it's so forcefully done, like, oh, there's some sneakiness going behind the scenes. And it's something that I do not believe. I believe that ego is the biggest enemy of the people. Egotists and narcissists are the biggest enemy of a free people. These narcissists and egotists think they know what is best for society, and they know what is best for you. These are control freaks. If you observed any Black Lives Matter demonstration, you will see control freaks. You will see white folks saying that we have to get in touch with our privilege, and that we have white silence is violence. This is done primarily by white leftist females, but white males who are leftist also play a part in this, and they can come from many different backgrounds. And to even question them is considered wrong. And I have to be honest with you, these people have gotten my blood boiling at times. And now we have Black Lives Matter supporting the Palestinians, and even supporting Hamas. And you see the head of the ADL, Jonathan Greenblatt, because these attacks were so brutal and so vicious, that he had to respond to his leftist community, which he has had a blind spot for. And he's the person who controls much of what goes on in the internet. And I almost want to call him Johnny Come Lately Greenblatt. You didn't see that? You didn't see that they were always in favor of Palestinians, and that they believed that the Israeli people were an occupying force? You shouldn't be in charge. If you consider yourself a moral person and a fighter against defamation, even a person that's in favor of the Jewish people in Israel, you are a sad force, because you put chips on people's shoulder. you've been rather myopic, and again, you have a blind spot for leftism, and you're myopic and laser towards anything on the right. But I digress. And then I see these leftists on Twitter who do support Israel, and them responding to what the leftists are doing. Again, the lack of self-recognition or the lack of self-awareness is rather, it does anger me. And whether they recognize it or not is not the issue. And I'll go into further discussion. Joe and I we're going to do a discussion about Stoicism and anger management, and I'd still like to do that. The only problem is I got a little sidetracked and I shouldn't have done that. And I've been wasting a lot of time. So I'm going to do more of these shows, and the best ones I'm going to promote. Anyway, thank you for listening. This has been Brian with Transparency and Merit. Like, subscribe. Thank you for listening.